Did you know that in solo leveling Ragnarok, son Jin-chul cannot transfer his powers as the Shadow Monarch to his son Suho? Here's why. Monarchs typically have successors ready to take their place if they fall. Suho was born with shadow abilities and was initially meant to inherit his father's throne. However, Jin-chul's incredible power made him nearly immortal, which pushed Suho onto a different path. Instead of becoming the Monarch of Shadows, Suho became the Monarch of Destruction, succeeding Antares instead. Suho isn't the only one with a unique destiny. destiny. Rakan Agraya is prepared to take on the mantle of the Monarch of Fangs. Tusk's granddaughter Sira is set to become the Monarch of Frost. And Essel, the last surviving demon noble, will inherit Baran's title as the Monarch of White Flames. Each successor has their own journey, battles and growth ahead of them. When monarchs pass on their power, they also transfer the responsibility of shaping the future. How do you think these successors will shape the hunter society that lies ahead? Beru explains to Suho what happened to his parents. Beru, creating a PowerPoint presentation, explains that the great shadow monarch, Sung Jin-woo, left for outer space and is at war with invaders who are trying to take over the world. Suho says, "My father is protecting the world," and Beru responds with, "Yes, from the Itaran, or gods of outer space." Beru further explains that the Itaran are sending their apostles and invading our world. On his way to meet Suho, Beru also had to tear apart many enemies, and he mentions that the gates and monsters are a result of the ongoing war. Suho then asks if his mom also went with his dad because she disappeared at the same time Jinwoo disappeared. Beru, confused, says no. Flabbergasted that Hae-in went missing, Beru blames the Itaran, thinking they must have set an evil trap. Suho concludes that it's because of the Itaran that his parents can't return. Beru then asks, "Does Suho wish to meet his parents?" Clenching his fists, Suho says, "Of course." Beru responds that there's only one way. He explains that Jinwoo won't be able to return due to the war, but in the meantime, the young monarch can find and rescue Hae-in after he gets stronger, saying, "Let's level up." Suho receives a quest called Trial of the Shadow with the description, "You are the son of the great shadow monarch. However, at the moment, your innate talents have been completely sealed. In order to bear that great strength, you will have to prove your worth. Enter the Shadow Dungeon and prove your worth." Receiving the Shadow Dungeon key from Beru, Beru tells Suho to stick the key inside his shadow. Suho sticks the key into his shadow and opens up a gate. Beru screams, "Go ahead, enter and take all the power that should have belonged to you, young monarch." Determined to reunite with his parents, Suho says, "I'll level up all I can." We then see a flashback of Beru's memories. Jinwoo tells Beru to go to Earth and release Suho's seal, saying that the Itaran's invasion may have spread to Earth. Jinwoo gives Beru orders to return Suho's sealed powers and memories and to protect Earth himself, allowing Beru to act at his discretion depending on the situation. Beru, looking at Suho, says, "If he's leaving the rest to my judgment, I, Beru, shall remain at the young monarch's side and watch over his growth." The chapter ends with Suho and Beru entering the gate, arriving at the land of the dead, where the living can't step foot inside without the master's permission, the Shadow Dungeon. So what exactly happened to Hae-in after the events of Solo Leveling? Major spoilers ahead, by the way. So, if you've been reading Solo Leveling Ragnarok, then you would know that Hae-in is missing as of now. Unlike Jinwoo, who we know is in outer space fighting gods, we don't know where Hae-in is or what happened to her. It was initially speculated that the Itarans or outer gods are more than likely the reason behind her unexpected disappearance. We later get a full disclosure as to what had happened to her after Jinwoo left. These events start off right after Jinwoo's departure to outer space in the last chapter of the OG Solo Leveling. Jinwoo instructs Kaizo to take Hae-in back to their home. But on their way, both of them are pulled into a snowstorm caused by the dimensional rift. Now, These rifts are gateways created by outer gods connecting to different dimensions and universe. Hae-in and Kaisel end up getting dragged into one of such worlds. Coincidentally, this world just so happens to be the home of the Ice Elves, species of frost monarch Scylla. After her unexpected arrival, she meets with the natives of this world and the current chief of Ice Elves, named Zerka. She is said to be the granddaughter of Scylla. The Ice Elves themselves were going through a rough time because of the death of their monarch. One such problem was the Echo Forest, a place considered sacred by the Ice Elves. But after the forming of dimensional rifts all over the universe, the spirits of Echo Forest started to run rampant and even killing many of the elves' tribesmen. Seeing this, Hae-in decides to aid them in their fight and teach them her sword arts. Riding on the back of the shadow dragon Kaisel, she was the sole reason of the Ice Elves' survival, becoming a goddess and a mother of protection in their eyes, hailed as the Dragon Maiden, considered the savior of Ice Elves. It should be mentioned beforehand that the Echo Forest is also known as the Forest of Trials, where elves do not dare to enter, as nobody has ever come back from that forest alive after entering it. Finally, Hae-in decides to enter the forest and end the war once and for all. Now, of course there is more to the story and the after events that happens later on, but I don't think I should go any deeper into the plotline. In solo leveling, Jin-chul shows up at Jin-woo's school like a persistent ex who won't take a hint. Jin-woo figures the guy's back with more questions. But what did Jin-chul say next? Not in a million years would Jin-woo have guessed it. The scene flashes back to their earlier conversation, where Jin-woo had casually asked Jin-chul for that childish drawing, and Jin-chul had handed it over without a second thought. It seemed trivial at the time, but Jin-chul now realized sometimes the biggest events in history start with something small. As he's walking away, voices start popping in his head like unwanted pop-up ads. Someone's calling him association leader. Jin-chul turned around, expecting someone to be messing with him, but there was nothing, just empty space, like my answer sheet during exams. Then it happened again. This time, the voice was his own. It echoed in his head, saying, "I believe you completely." Then it hits him. Memories from another timeline crash into his brain like a dump truck full of bricks. The name Sung Jin-woo keeps playing on repeat, and suddenly that bratty kid he was just talking to makes. And suddenly, the puzzle pieces click together. These weren't just random memories. They were connected across time itself. He had seen the past, the present, and even glimpses of the future through Jin-woo's eyes. Gates, monsters, hunters, rulers, monarchs. It all made sense now. Jin-chul remembers his final conversation with Jin-woo before the kid went solo against Antares on that island, like a one-man army against a dragon. He then asks Jin-woo, "How long were you fighting against the demons in that dimensional gap?" Thinking Jin-woo had been gone for 2 years, Jin-chul asks how long he'd been throwing hands with demons in the dimensional gap. Jin-woo's answer hits harder than a roundhouse kick to the face. 27 years of solo monster slaying. Follow for more. Did you know that Jin-chul's son, Suho, was trained by a powerful monster, which helped him become insanely strong? It all started when Jin-chul rescued a monster named Amit from a dungeon in Egypt. Surprisingly, Amit was far stronger than the dungeon's actual boss. He wasn't just any monster, he was the successor of the monarch of Iron Body, who had been betrayed and imprisoned in chains within the dungeon. Amit remained captive until Suho realized he wasn't truly evil, but simply had a short temper. Seeing this, Suho decided to free him and make him an ally. As a sign of trust, Suho even assigned Amit his own territory within the Shadow Empire. In return, Amit wiped out every single goblin in the area as a way of thanking Suho for his help. However, this caused an unexpected problem. Those goblins were Suho's main source of experience for leveling up through daily quests. To make up for this, Amit offered to train Suho himself. At the time, Amit was stronger than Suho, making it a perfect opportunity for him to grow. Thanks to this training, Suho was later able to fight A-rank Hunter Lee Min-sung, even after Min-sung had received an extra power boost from the apostles.